Hi everyone, welcome to Yoga with Heini. I'm Heini, and this week I'm going to lead you through an all levels Vinyasa Yoga practice. No fancy or difficult arm balancing poses, but a basic Vinyasa practice. And I'll give you options so you can work and practice on your own level. Let's get started. Our peak pose in our practice is going to be a standing balancing pose. So we're going to prepare legs and also upper body for this peak pose. But we'll leave that as a surprise. And props-wise, you don't necessarily need any props for this practice. I have a block here, so I'll show you how to use a block in a couple of poses. But if you don't normally use blocks, you are very welcome to do this practice without any props. And then, to get started, when you're ready, come stand at the top of your mat or your practice space in a mountain pose, Tadasana pose. You could have your feet together or maybe about hip width apart so you feel stable. You don't need to balance here yet. And we'll start with a few breaths before we go into sun salutations. So first, a slightly deeper breath in and out. Let your shoulders soften. And then with your next inhalation, lengthen your arms up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. And as you exhale, bring arms sideways down. And you can slightly round your neck, your upper back. Let the arms come all the way down. Same again, as you inhale, lengthen arms up. Let the chest open. And then exhale, bring arms sideways down. And a small, gentle rounding of the neck, upper back. Once more. Inhale, lengthen arms up, open the chest. And exhale, bring the arms down. And again, you can bring head down, round the neck. And then we'll start our sun salutation. So once more, inhale, lengthen arms up, press the feet down. As you exhale again, bring arms sideways down and start to roll down through the spine. So vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way down into full forward bend. You can bend your knees, especially in the beginning of the practice. Next inhalation, bring hands onto your shins and open your chest into flat back lift halfway up. Exhale, bring hands down, bend the knees more deeply. Inhale, step into plank pose. And here you can keep your legs extended or you could bring your knees on the mat. With the next exhalation, slowly lower yourself down onto the mat. And then inhale there, release the toes. Next exhalation, lift your chest just slightly off the mat into a small baby cobra back bend. Inhale there, open the chest. Exhale, release the chest down. Press down through the hands to lift yourself onto hands and knees. Then tuck the toes under and continue all the way up into downward facing dog. And in downward dog, now especially first downward dog, let yourself move your feet a bit. You can pedal from one foot to the other. You can adjust where your feet and your hands are so you feel stable. And take another breath in and out. You could keep knees bent here as well, head dropping down. Then with the next inhalation, shift the weight forward onto hands, lift onto tippy toes, and exhale, step your both feet back to your hands. You can keep knees bent. Inhale into flat back again, halfway up, hands on the shins. Exhale, bend all the way down into full forward bend, head releasing down. As you inhale, press down through the feet, roll the back up, arms reaching up. You can even look up and exhale. Just release hands and arms down. Keep your back, your head up. We're back in mountain pose. Breathe in and out here. You can roll the shoulders. We'll do same again, just tiny bit faster. As you inhale, lengthen up through the arms, press down through the feet, and then exhale, bring arms sideways down. Again, roll down through the spine, vertebra by vertebra, into full forward bend. Hands on the shins, inhale to flat back and lift in and up through the lower belly. Exhale, bring hands on the mat, and the next inhalation, step your both feet back into plank. Again, feel free to bring knees on the mat if you want. Next exhalation, slowly bring yourself onto the mat. Try to resist the gravity a bit. Inhale, release the toes. And next exhalation into baby cobra, open the chest. Inhale there. And the next exhalation, release the chest, the head down. And again, press down through the arms, lift onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under and continue up into downward dog. And again, you might take some time to move hands, move feet. You might have hands wider apart when you come into downward dog. And think about lifting your pelvis up. So it's not really just pushing through the arms, it's equally lifting up through the pelvis. Heels don't have to touch the mat. They might, but if they don't worry. Take another breath in and out. And then as you inhale, lift onto tippy toes, shift the weight forward to hands, bend the knees and exhale, step both feet back to hands. Inhale halfway up into flat back, either knees bend or you can extend the legs. Exhale down to full forward bend. And keep pressing down through the feet as you inhale. Now roll the back up, arms reaching up. Open the chest. Exhale, just release the arms down again, keeping back upright. Breathe in and out here. We'll go into Sun Salutation B, adding chair and warrior one. First, just inhale and exhale. And the next inhalation, reach the arms up. Now you could bring your palms together, leave arms up. Exhale, bend your knees into chair pose. You can tilt your pelvis, tilt your back forward. Stay here a couple of breaths. Either keeping arms up, they could be wider apart, or bring palms together in front of the chest, so that you're not tensing your shoulders too much. Take another breath in, reaching head away from the tail. And then as you exhale, full forward bend. Again, knees could stay bent or you can extend the legs. Hands to shins. Inhale to flat back. Lift again in through the lower belly, supporting the back. Exhale, bring hands on the mat. And then inhale, step all the way back into your plank pose, either on the feet or on the knees. Exhale through low plank all the way down onto the mat. Inhale there, again release the toes. And next exhalation into baby cobra. And you don't need to look forward, you can keep looking down. Next exhalation, bring your chest, your head back down. Lift onto hands and knees, core active here. Tuck the toes under and then up into downward dog. Let's pause here to breathe in and out. Check your shoulders are soft, your head, your neck can drop down. And then we're going to come into warrior one. So now you could again first lift onto tippy toes, maybe look forward to hands, step your left foot behind the left hand, and just slightly open the right foot so you can bring the heel down. Now keep the front knee bent, back leg straight, and inhale, lift your back up, reach arms up. Again, you might bring palms together, but if it's better for your shoulders, you can keep arms wider apart. And actively press down through the feet, still trying to keep that back leg, knees straight. Take another breath here. And then as you exhale, bring hands back down. And we'll step back into plank. So turn the right heel up. Step your both feet back. Inhale. And exhale through low plank all the way down onto the mat. Inhale. And exhale, small baby cobra. Small back bend. Inhale there. And exhale, release down. And then lift onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under. And exhale into downward dog. You can move hands, you can move feet. You can breathe here. And we'll do that warrior one on the other side. So first, lifting onto tippy toes, maybe looking to hands. Step your right foot behind the right hand and turn left foot just tiny bit open so you can bring the heel down and the opening comes from the hip. Then as you inhale, lift your back up, reach arms up. You could even look up if that feels good in your neck. And the pelvis doesn't need to square forward. More think about just turning chest to the top of the mat. Take another breath here. Soften tops of the shoulders. And exhale. We bring hands down again. We'll do one more Vinyasa flow here for the sun salutation. So step into plank. And then exhale through low plank onto the mat. Release the toes. And next exhalation into that small cobra. Inhale there. And exhale all the way back onto the mat. Then lift onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under and send the pelvis up. Another downward dog. We have a lot of downward dogs, so try to find, I'd like to say comfort in downward dog, but it's not necessarily a comfortable pose, but just make it manageable by maybe bending the knees or adjusting hands a bit wider apart. And then let the head drop down. Take another breath in and out. And then as you inhale, lift onto tippy toes. You can shift the weight forward. Exhale, step your feet forward to hands. Inhale to flat back, halfway up. Open the chest. And exhale, bend down. You decide if legs are straight or knees bent. And then as you inhale, roll the back up. Lift up through the belly, lift up through the chest. Arms reaching up. Exhale, release, arms down. And we are again back in our mountain pose. This is kind of our base. Take a couple of breaths in and out. And then we'll come into a bit longer, full forward bend. So you could have your feet hip width apart. You might step your feet a bit wider if you want. So you can press down through the feet. Once more, lengthen arms up. And then as you exhale, bring the arms sideways down and roll down through the spine. Again, option to bend the knees if you want. Coming into full forward bend and keep your legs active. Make sure you're not locking the knees, so maybe a micro bend in the knees. And you can either leave your hands just hanging down, or you could hold the opposite elbow with your hands, kind of like a ragdoll pose. Or last option is to bring your palms under your feet, so you're kind of standing on top of your own hands. And then with each exhalation, let yourself just slowly sink into that forward bend, keeping front of the legs active. Maybe that small micro bend. And also feeling the feet are active, the feet pressing down. Let's take another breath in and out. It's a full, quite big opening for the whole back line. So from legs all the way up to the back and neck. And then if you are holding your elbows or if you have hands under the feet, release the hands. Bring palms on the mat, bend the knees. Let's add a vinyasa flow here. So now step or maybe even jump the feet back into plank. And next exhalation, again down onto the mat. Release the toes, inhale. And as you exhale, small back bend, your cobra. You can make it bigger if you want. And then next exhalation, release back down. Lift onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under. And then all the way up into downward dog. Hello, downward dog. We are here again. And from here, we're going to continue into slightly bigger standing poses. So we continue preparing the legs for our peak balancing pose. Now you could look forward to hands, shift the weight a bit more onto the hands, and then step your left foot to your hands, maybe this time between the hands, and turn your right foot, the right leg open so you get the whole foot on the mat. And now if you have a block, this is where you might bring the block next to that left foot. So we leave left hand either on the mat, on top of the left foot, or maybe onto the block. As you inhale, open chest, coming into triangle pose. So turning chest to the side of the mat. And the right arm can reach up, or you can bring it behind the back. It might release the shoulder more. And now this might be plenty enough for the legs, but if you're looking for a bigger stretch, maybe with the next exhalation, start straightening the left leg, the front leg, just a bit more, so you can still keep your legs active, although you might be feeling quite a big stretch there as well. And keep breathing. The breath is the key to opening and strengthening as well. We'll take another breath in this triangle pose, keeping chest open. And then with the next exhalation, if you have your left leg straight, bend back to that left knee and then bring your left elbow on top of the left thigh. Release the right arm back up to the ceiling. If you have it behind the back, inhale and exhale. Lengthen right arm over the head towards the top of the mat. So now we're lengthening more into that right side, keeping right leg straight, left knee bend. If neck gets tense, you can look down to the mat. Take another breath in and out. And then pressing down through the feet. Inhale, lift yourself all the way up. You can just extend your legs, windmill the arms open, and then release arms down. And turn your both feet toes towards the long side of the mat. If you have a block there, you could now bring it right in front of you. You might use it in the next pose. So keeping feet about parallel, bring hands to your hips around the pelvis. Inhale, open the chest, press down through both feet, coming into flat back from here. Exhale, start hinging from the hips. So now keeping the back straight, and hinging from the hips, come halfway down into flat back. You can bend your knees, pause in that flat back. And you can stay here, maybe just bring hands onto your block if you have one there. Or if you want to go deeper, exhale, start rounding your back. And again, you could keep hands on the block, or you might bring hands all the way down to the mat. But now really keep the legs active. So we are strengthening and opening the legs at the same time. You might feel it in the back side of the legs. You might feel it in the inner thighs, the groin area. Try to release the head, the neck down. Take another breath in and out. And then as you inhale, open the chest slightly away from the mat, coming back to that flat back, and then walk your hands to your right foot. And now turn your both feet toes towards the back of the mat. So now turning to the other end of the mat, and we'll add a vinyasa flow here. So bring hands to mat and step your both feet back. And next exhalation, lower down onto the mat. Inhale, release the toes. And then next exhalation into cobra. Again, you can still keep the cobra very small, you decide. Next exhalation, come back onto the mat. Lift onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under and continue up into downward facing dog. You could shake the head a bit. Check tops of the shoulders are soft. Breathe. And then we'll come into the triangle on the other side. So again, you can look forward, shift the weight slightly more to the hands, and then step your right foot to your hands, turning the left foot, the whole left leg open, so you get the left foot on the mat. And again, if you have a block there, this might be time to bring block close to the right foot, or leave right hand on the mat, on the foot. We're going to inhale, open the chest. And you can reach the left arm up, but think about more turning the chest. So the arm is kind of just an extension for your chest, for your back. And again, you have an option to bring that left arm behind the back as well. Or maybe look down to the mat if that releases the neck more. See how the legs feel. If you want, you could exhale, straighten the right leg, that front leg more. But make sure you stay on an edge where you can still breathe, so it's not too intense. And you also feel activation through the legs. So we're not just leaning onto the arm, it's more work for the legs. Take another breath in and out in your triangle pose. And then as you exhale, bend into that right knee. So your knee is about on top of the ankle. Then lean your right elbow onto the right thigh. And from here, if you have your left arm behind the back, send the left arm up to the sky. Open the chest. And as you exhale, see if you can bring that left arm over the head. So it's a long line from left foot all the way into that left arm. And you might be looking still down to the mat. Pressing down through the feet. And breathing. Keep it gentle, drawing in through the lower belly. Take another breath in and out. And then again, we're going to lift all the way up to standing. So as you inhale, start lifting yourself up. You can windmill the arms open, extend the legs, and then release the arms down. And turn your both feet, toes, to the long side of the mat. If the block is on the way, you might need to move the block aside. We're not going to use the block anymore. And we're back in that wide-legged stance. Now you have an option for the arms. You can do the same arms as you did before. Or you could now also bring arms behind the back, interlock fingers like making one big fist with your hands behind the back. Legs active. Inhale, open the chest. And then exhale again into flat back, hinging from the hips. First, come halfway down. Pause there to breathe. See how it feels. You might stay there. Or exhale again. Continue rounding the back. And now it's maybe a bit stronger for the legs because the arms are behind the back. So see how you feel. If it's too strong, you can always bring hands onto the mat. If you want to keep arms behind the back, you have one more option to extend arms away from the back. So it's a bigger opening for the shoulders. Kind of hands, arms coming down towards the mat behind your back. Make sure you stay on your edge. No pain. There could be a big stretch, but no painful sensation. Take another breath in and out. And then if you have your arms extended behind the back, bring your hands first onto your lower back and then release hands down to the mat. Inhale, open the chest away from the mat and then walk both hands to the left foot. So we arrive back at the top of the mat And we'll add a vinyasa flow here. So hands on the mat. Step your both feet back into plank. Exhale, low plank and all the way down to the mat. Inhale, release the toes. And exhale into cobra. Inhale there. And exhale back down. Follow your own breath. Lift onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under. And again. Hello, downward dog. Maybe move the feet here a bit. Shake the head. Breathe in and out. And then inhale, lift onto tippy toes. Shift the weight to hands. Exhale, step both feet forward to hands. Inhale to flat back, halfway up, opening the chest. Exhale, bend down, full forward bend. Allow your head to come down. And then as you inhale, roll the back up, lift up through the belly, lift up through the chest, arms reaching up. Exhale, release, arms down. We are back in our mountain pose. Breathe in and out. Again, you can roll the shoulders. Good. Now we're going to come into our peak pose, that balancing pose I mentioned in the beginning. And if you have more space sideways, you might turn sideways on the mat. I'll turn this way so you can see better. We'll come into hand to big toe pose. So one-legged balancing pose. We've been preparing our legs, our core for this. And I'll give you options. We're going to start by standing on the left foot. So from 2 feet, breathe in and out and move your weight onto the left foot, making right foot lighter. Exhale, lift the right knee up and bring hands around the right knee so you can lift the knee, maybe even a bit higher than the right hip. And checking that we're not lifting the hip up, trying to keep hips in the same level. Now you have an option to keep this knee bent all the time and either 1 or 2 hands around that right knee. Or if you want to go a tiny bit further, bring your index finger and middle finger in the right hand around that right foot, big toe, and then left hand onto your left hip, still lifting the back up. And you could stay here, or the final option is to exhale, extend that right leg in front of you. And we don't need to fully straighten the knee. The right knee could stay bent, and standing leg knee can be bent as well. Wherever you are, keep breathing. Keep your eyes focused on something. Take another breath with the leg in front of you. And then with your next exhalation, slowly start opening the right hip. Now you might still have that right knee fully bent. Just keep your right hand around the right knee. Good, pause here to breathe. And the next exhalation, we try to bring that right leg back in front of us, still balancing on one foot. You might feel a bit wobbly, that's very fine. Good, and exhale, bend the right knee, hug the knee in. Then release both feet, both arms down. And now you're very welcome to move the feet a bit, maybe roll the shoulders as well. Take a deeper breath in and out. And then start grounding onto the right foot. We'll do the same pose on the other side. This is what we've been preparing the legs for. So inhale and exhale, shift the weight onto your right foot. And already here, find a focus point for your eyes. And the next exhalation, lift the left knee towards the belly, grounding down through the right foot. Again, not letting the left hip hike up, but keep the left hip down, same level as the right hip. And check that you're still breathing. Again, you can stay here holding the knee with your hands, or now left hand index and middle finger could come around the left foot big toe, and you could bend the big toe as well. So you're gripping with the fingers and the toe, and then right hand around the right hip, and you can stay here. Or the last option, exhale, straighten the left leg in front of you. And don't let the leg pull you forward. Keep your back still lifting up. So core is strong. Breathing a bit more to the chest, to the rib cage. So belly can keep lifting in and up. Good. Remember the left knee could be bent. Let's go into that open shape. So next exhalation, start opening the left hip, left leg coming out to the side. And still breathing. Legs might start to shake a bit, that's very fine. Good, still breathing. Let's exhale, bring left leg back in front of us. Good. And then bend the left knee, hug the knee in. Inhale, open the chest. And exhale, release. Feet, release, arms down. And again, move a bit through the feet, through the ankles, roll the shoulders. Nicely done. And now we'll do our last kind of half sun salutation, Vinyasa flow, just to get a bit of flowing movement through the whole body before we calm down into our resting pose. So once more, bring yourself to the top of the mat. Inhale, exhale. And then as you inhale, lengthen arms up. Open the chest. Exhale, bring arms sideways down and roll down through the spine. Once more, head coming down. Inhale to flat back. Opening the chest, lifting in through the lower belly. Exhale, bring hands on the mat and then step into plank, or maybe jump into plank if there's energy left in the legs. And next exhalation, come down onto the mat. Inhale, exhale into small cobra. And inhale there, open the chest. Exhale, lower down. Lift onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under, and then final downward facing dog. And we'll take a few breaths here. Now after that balancing pose, it might be nice to move the feet. Just gonna stretch the calves, the feet a bit. Maybe shake the head. Breathe in and out. Good, and then exhale. Bring your both knees onto the mat, onto all fours. And from all fours, bring yourself to sitting. So shift your legs in front of you and check that you have space behind you. We are going to come lie down on the back. Slowly roll down through the spine onto your back. Let the head, shoulders release down. And then keep your knees bent. We'll do a few windshield wipers. You could release arms next to the sides, or you might bring arms over the head. It might be quite nice after those vinyasa flows. Start swinging knees, legs from side to side. Just getting a bit of movement, gentle movement in the hips, in the spine, a bit of twisting in the spine. You could even turn head from side to side if you want. Couple more swings in your own time. Allow this to be now really relaxed movement. Good, and then once you've visited the left and the right side the same amount of times, Calm down the movement. Bring arms down next to the side. So bring arms somewhere below the heart level. And we'll slowly relax into our final resting pose, Shavasana pose. If it feels good in the back, keep knees bent. Maybe lean the knees, the thighs against each other. Or you could extend the legs. Maybe that's a better Shavasana pose for you. Wherever you feel you can release the legs, they've been working quite hard. Wherever you feel you can release the arms, the whole upper body, that's been working hard as well. And if you notice that it's difficult to rest on your back, you are very welcome to roll down onto one side or maybe come lie down on the belly. So wherever you feel that you can find a moment of ease. If you want, you could close your eyes. And then just let yourself focus on your breath. You could let your breathing calm down, maybe even slow down a bit. Allow every exhalation, release tension, release effort in the body. Allow your feet to soften. Allow your both legs to relax. Let the heavy pelvis sink down, releasing both hips, releasing both buttocks. Send a slightly deeper inhalation down to the belly. And then exhale, soften the belly, soften your back. Allow your shoulders to relax. And let your both arms, your hands to soften. Breathe in and out. And finally, allow your neck, your head to soften, to relax, releasing even your jaw, so checking that you're not biting teeth together. Just allowing the whole body to rest, allowing the breath and the mind to calm down, quiet down. Give yourself another few breaths in your resting pose. Or if you want, you might stay longer. You can make your Shavasana pose as long as is needed today. And when you feel ready to slowly wake up from that resting pose, first start wiggling your fingers, your toes, moving the hands and the feet. If you have eyes closed, slowly open your eyes, bringing yourself back to your practice space. And you could even lengthen arms over the head, along the mat, along the floor. Stretch the whole body long, from hands down to the feet. And then from your resting pose, slowly roll down onto one side. It could be left or right side, which one feels easier. And then from your side, bring yourself all the way up into a seat, into your own final seat. And just soften your gaze down towards the ground. Take a moment here. Just slowly closing the practice. If it's part of your practice, you could bring your palms together in front of the chest. And as always, at the end of the practice, thank yourself for coming on to the mat, into your practice, into your body, your breath today. And I thank you very much for joining in. Namaste. Thank you. Good. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you enjoyed the practice. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know how you felt in this practice. And also, if you know anyone who might benefit, might enjoy this practice, please share the video with them. I highly appreciate your help. It really helps the channel to grow. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.